Are we headed for a government shutdown in 2 days? Sure looks like it.
Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, but Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input from congressional Democrats. Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass. We should vote on that. I hope our Republican colleagues will join us to avoid a shutdown on Friday.
Now, I know that's a lot of legislative speak from the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and I promise I will interpret what he said for you in just a second. But first, quickly, let me just catch you up to speed. We are scheduled to have a government shutdown this Friday. Yesterday, House Republicans passed what's called a continuing resolution, or a CR. That is a temporary funding bill that would keep the government open from Friday until September 30th. But what Senator Schumer said was correct. This CR that passed in the House yesterday was crafted with zero input from Democrats. Republicans did this on their own. And on top of that, the bill that was passed is not like a normal CR that would keep spending levels at status quo. This CR increases funding levels for defense and immigrations and customs enforcement and cuts hundreds of billions of dollars of spending for things like the Education Department, Health and Human Services, and the Labor Department. The other thing that makes this CR different is the fact that it is going to last for the rest of the fiscal year, 6 more months. Usually CRs are much shorter than that. Democrats have been very upset about this CR for weeks, saying it cuts important government programs and funding, and they say it would just enable President Trump to more easily continue to slash the federal government workforce and federal spending. As you know, though, this is not just about what the House wants. Bills that pass the House also have to pass the Senate, and this one needs 60 votes. Republicans only have 53 members, which means, do the simple math, they need Senate Democrats to also vote yes if they want to avoid this government shutdown. If at least 7 Democrats do not vote yes, the government shuts down on Friday. Make sense? Okay, now that you know the backstory, here's the interpretation of what Senator Schumer said. He said Senate Democrats do not like this CR, and they are prepared to vote no, which means the bill would fail and the government would shut down on Friday. Senate Democrats do not like that the CR lasts for 6 months, and they do not like that they were not included in crafting the bill. Schumer says instead, Democrats want what's called a clean CR that would only last for 1 month. A clean CR would keep spending levels at status quo. It wouldn't be increasing spending or cutting spending. It would just keep things as they are right now. Now, there are a few complications to all of this. The first complication comes for Republicans, which is that one of their own, Senator Rand Paul, hates CRs, and he has already indicated that he is going to vote no on this one. So technically, it looks like Senate Republicans are actually going to need 8 Democrats to vote yes. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, so it is up to them to find a way to keep the government open. Do they really want the government to shut down on their watch for the first time since President Trump was in office last time? Now, there are also big complications for Democrats. We know Republicans will probably not go for this 1-month CR idea that Schumer is pushing. And Democrats certainly do not have the votes to pass it without him. It would need 60 votes as well. We also know that the House went on recess. Now, that recess was technically scheduled, but it was not scheduled for the full week. House Republicans basically called a recess for the full week, so they would purposely be out of town when Senate Democrats had to make this choice. The whole idea was to jam them up. Basically, they're daring Senate Democrats to vote no on the CR because, of course, if the House is gone from Washington, D.C., there would be no way, even if the Senate somehow could pass a shorter 1-month continuing resolution, that a government shutdown could be avoided because the House isn't even in town to take up the bill. The other complication is if Democrats do vote no, Republicans are obviously going to blame a government shutdown on them. And one last little complication, some Democrats are even saying that a shutdown may make it easier for Elon Musk to continue to cut the federal workforce. So the real question is, can Senator Schumer hold his Democratic colleagues together, and do Democrats really have the nerve to vote no and shut the government down? And at the same time, do Republicans really have the nerve, if Democrats are a no-go on this, to allow a government shutdown within President Trump's first 100 days? Or is it in their best interest to try and negotiate something? I don't know, but we will know the answer very soon.